Chris and Brandon with the Kabuki Strength Team here, and we're going to go through the dead bug or the dying bug movement. I find a lot of people think that they know what this movement is, but once we do it with purpose, with intent, we get entirely different perspective on the movement. So for us, this is a great movement for cueing position. So it's traditionally done as like an ab exercise, core stability, which we are going to do and get that engagement, but a lot of it is bringing awareness and positioning of the pelvis, the sternum, and then the quality of the intra-abdominal pressurization. So these are all the things that are big focuses for us on this movement. So the movement starts on your back. So Brandon's going to demonstrate this here. And we want to start by simply just bringing awareness to our sternal crunch position. So I'm actually going to cue Brandon to actually raise this area up here and drive it down and then up and down. And I'm going to watch him to see if he's moving that with his pelvis or trying to push it down with his shoulders. So all the movement should actually be drawing down. We're firing that diaphragm, drawing this down into position and bringing awareness there. So that's stage one, is bring that awareness. I can also slide my hand under his back, boom, right here, and tap him right there and say, crush my finger, boom. You see him start to shake a little bit there? So that's the difference between doing this with purpose and intent and not, and just going through the motions. Now we're still gonna have some room at the small of the back, so you should be able to slide like a Sharpie pen or something under there. So you don't want them driving this closed with this area, which is what will happen. They'll lose that space here. But we started to see a little bit of that deep spinal stabilization come into play. And actually probably a little bit of opportunity for Brandon in this. So another one that we'll do to cue that is, I'll grab this strap here. I'm going to slide this under Brandon's back. Again, notice position. We're right below that sternum, and I'm going to have Brandon hold that down. Okay, and now we're going to go up into this position with legs at 90, hips at 90, and feet at 90, about basketball width apart here at the knees. Okay, and now we're going to take this a step further, and you can keep the hands at the side just yet. Brandon knows all the next progression, so he's jumping ahead here. We're going to start focusing on the quality of the intra-abdominal pressurization. So I'm going to reach in here, my hands like this, and I'm going to get in that low abdomen, and then right there in that oblique, and look for him to fill those areas out. Boom, without raising this. Boom. And then I'm going to check various areas, feel if we've got some dead spots in here. We want pushing out all the way along the sides in those obliques, right in here. Good. So good, we're looking for that nice, good pressurization. And this is our opportunity to practice that. Brandon, you can take a break for a second. So now, when he's doing that, now I'm going to again, start tugging on this, making sure that he's holding this down. Just doing this for a few seconds, just those positions will be really challenging for most people. I know it looks really simple and silly. It is not. But notice, these are the same positionings that we want to see on our squat, our pull, all of these movements. It also helps bring a little bit of awareness to that hip position as well, so that we're not driving this down with the hip. So our next move is to get these legs up at 90, and then Brandon's going to take turns marching. Some people reach on a dead bug with these. We do these with just all the movement in the hip, so we find that easier. So boom, see the knee, the ankle are staying at their 90, and we're solely moving in the hip. So now we've got great positioning, good intra-abdominal pressurization, and now we're starting to put some movement through the hip. Okay? Next step, I'm going to have Brandon reach with his hands. And I really want him to reach with this serratus right here. So watch. Give me more. Give me more. Notice there's always more. Okay? Look at that. He's struggling, holding this position. This is held down tight. All right, Brandon's going to need to take a break. All right. We want to make sure that the shoulders are not coming up to the ears, so we make you being tall with the head, as you may have seen in some of our other videos. We don't want to be reaching with the head, we want to be extending there, dropping those shoulders away, reaching with that serratus. Okay? So we're not quite to the dead bug yet. This is all just practice. And each of these can be regressions or progressions as you develop the ability to do these. So the final dead bug position is going to get up, and he's going to drop one leg down, and then reach with the other hand as it comes back up. There we go. And then switch. Boom. He's going to reach with that serratus, quality IAP, and hold this down. Hold it down, Brandon. Hold it down. There we got a little bit of movement. The speed right here is really good. Watch to see if there's any fast areas. If there's any areas that he's moving fast through, that's where we've got issues we want to pay attention to. So this is a good speed. A lot of people will be doing this too fast. I constantly coach people to slow down. It's quality of movement, not repetition here. So go ahead and stop, Brandon. If you're doing this as a warm-up, so as a cueing pattern, getting everything working together, you're going to do maybe a set of 4 reps. If you're doing this on an off day for development, practice of quality IAP and integration into shoulders or hips, you're going to do maybe 3 sets of 10 if you can get that far. Another variation of this that you'll find in another video is the wall bug. So that's it. Brandon, you got any additional comments there on the dead bug or dying bug?
That's a tough one.
It is.
I think this is one of our more foundational movements, and it shows up in a lot of the programs we write. But I think Chris covered everything really well. The only thing that I'll touch on is, if we're talking about using movement to mimic our sport activity, which for the most of us who's watching these videos is probably going to be a lifter of some sort, or even team sport athletes. But if we were to tip ourselves up, that looks like the perfect bottom squat position, right? So we're regressing things and allowing us to focus on other things within that pattern while we're unloaded, which can be very powerful if we do it with intent.
Yeah. And actually, if we get into other sports, you're going to find these same patterns repeat themselves over and over and over again. So it applies across the board. All right, have fun rolling on around on the floor, doing your dying bugs.